Sometimes we get live transfers in this business, and I wanted to answer the question of how do I know like if someone's being real or they're messing around with me or not serious. So we're dealing with these retirees, and sometimes they have a lot of time on their hands, so they get a lot of phone calls and they decide, oh well, you know what, I think I'll just go ahead and mess with somebody. Like sometimes they just hang up on people, sometimes they don't answer, sometimes they get hateful. So they try all these different things to reduce the amount of phone calls they're getting. And then one of the things they'll do is just, you know what, they're going to waste my time, I'm going to waste theirs. It's just like a make wrong. And so it's like I listen for the way they sound. It's hard to explain, but sometimes like they get me, sometimes like we'll go 10 minutes and they're like, yeah, I was just wasting your time. But the way that I started to discover this was the person has like an unexpressed resentment. And that would mean like they're kind of short with me. They almost sound irritated, but not quite. Or they're just like, yeah, they're just kind of going through it with me. And then I'll even ask them, is this something that's important to you? Yes. Do you need to get this? Is this something what's been keeping you from getting it done so far? I don't know. I just haven't gotten it done yet. And I'm like, I've had that person turn around and you guys call me and like, they're like, I don't know. They're just accusing me of whatever they think, that's in their mind. They're just accusing me of, oh, you guys are scammers, or you guys are this, or you guys are that. And it's like, okay, well, the one thing I dislike more than someone accusing somebody of something is accusing somebody and then not proving it. Prove it. Prove that I'm a scammer. Right? So, well, how'd you get my information? And then all this stuff, right? Like, they did fill out the information. They did request the information. They forgot about it. But they probably filled it out with a bunch of other people too, or other people had their information and it's been sold or passed around, or I don't know. But they filled some stuff out and now they're getting tons of calls and they're really not happy about it. So I just listen the same way a mother knows like when her kids are upset or something's wrong, or you could be in the other room and you could tell. Same thing with your spouse. Like, like even though your spouse is acting like everything's okay, we know, oh, there's something that's bothering my wife or my husband or whoever. So I just listen in and I get very direct with the person. I'm like, hey, so John, you're 67. What's kept you from doing something like this so far? I start asking hard questions like, John, respectfully, like what's kept you from getting this done? If you don't mind me asking, John, why now? Why do you need to do it now? And if they're getting hateful and resentful and yada, 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 I'm like, okay, well, they're not really going to buy anyway. Well, let's get this done. Like I had a guy earlier, he told me he was the decision maker. Like I said, hey, do you pay your own bills? Do you take care of all your own stuff, or do you have a power of attorney? And he said, no, I do all that myself. But then 9 minutes in, and he's like, yeah, I need to think about this. I need to put this off. I'm like, sir, respectfully, like we don't even know the price yet. So what are you trying to think about? And eventually, like, I mean, I asked him like 10, 15 different questions of like, why are you putting this off? Why are you telling me that no matter what happens today, you're not going to make a decision? Why are you trying to delay this? You're 75 years old. Like, what's going on? Will you please just tell me? I even had the guy go turn his TV off. I said, I could tell part of his attention was on the TV. I said, can you go turn that off for me, please? He said, oh yeah, sorry. And he turned it off. Like I could hear it just completely off. Now that I got your full attention, sir, and then I went into it and I'm being genuine because I'm trying to really get this done. 9 minutes into the call, he finally tells me, I have to consult with a family member who helps me take care of these types of things. And I'm like, oh, okay. So you really don't pay your bills on your own. Somebody else helps you with it. And he's like, yeah. So sometimes the first answer that you receive is not always the right answer or the true answer. So, but I mean, in the first 9 minutes of the call, I've hit him pretty heavy, with questions and like, what are you trying to think about? What are you trying to delay? I was like, so, because it sounded to me, and I even said this, it sounds to me like no matter what I say or do or what anyone does, you've decided you're just not going to do this today. You're going to continue to put this off. Why? And he finally gave me that answer that I mentioned earlier about how he doesn't do it himself. He can't decide on it even if he wants to. So, but I'm listening, I'm asking these questions. I'm getting very direct with people, but I'm friendly. Like if someone's really friendly with me, I just go through it. And that would be my whole intro. And like we only call for two reasons and make sure that there's no burden on the family. And then just kind of going down the line and just saying, do you have anything specifically in place for this yet? They say yes, they say no, good. I find out, are they adding? Are they saving? Are they trying to get it for a loved one? And then the answers to these questions and everything about their tone and the way that they respond kind of tells me within 5 to 10 minutes if they're messing with me or not. If you can't figure it out within 10 minutes, that would really suck. That would be tough. But I think you should be able to figure it out within 5 to 10 minutes for sure. Usually it's like the first 5 minutes, but 10 minutes is like when they're really just really good at being manipulative, I should say, because they do it on a regular basis and that's what they do and that's how they are. And there are people that are like that. So they're a little bit harder to discover because they're so well practiced at being manipulative and dishonest. And that's unfortunate, but it's a very small percentage. I'd like to say that those people are really, they really are a small percentage, especially the more professional you can sound and the better job you can do. They're going to realize like, wow, I really am dealing with somebody who does this for a living. I'm probably wasting my time now because this person's actually an honest person and I'm just wasting their time. So therefore I'm actually doing harm to a good person. And that's what really messes people up is when they do something bad to someone who's really good. They don't mind hurting somebody who's bad, but when you hurt somebody who's really good, they'll actually really feel bad about that and it'll bother them. So hope that this helps. Let me know if this helps, if you have any more questions about it, and I would be more than happy to answer.